welcome to Gefiltefest 2014. I'm Anthony Silverman, and it is my great delight to be here with Poopa Dweck. And Poopa and I are going to be in conversation, but hopefully we're also going to be in conversation with all of you. So just a quick introduction for Poopa. Poopa wrote Aromas of Aleppo, the legendary cuisine of Syrian Jews, which won the National Jewish Book Award in 2007. So Poopa, can I ask, why write the book? What was the why write the book? What was the purpose behind it, other than desire to get some of this stuff out on paper for all of us to enjoy?
Yeah, I was married at 18, and prior to that, I didn't do any cooking. And as I was bringing up my family, I would ask my mother for recipes. She was born in Syria, as I had already said, and it was very difficult, as all ethnicities have that problem. A pinch of this, of that, and watch it. And at the time I was in, the head of fundraising for the New Jersey women's community that was starting, the Sephardic Women's Organization. Actually, I started it in my living room. And I was in charge of fundraising, so I said, okay, let's get two birds with one stone, and we did a community cookbook, because I felt the urgency to document these recipes. I was very nervous about losing them. I didn't want future generations preparing meatloaf instead of yebra, and baklava, and chocolate chip cookies instead of baklava. So we did a community cookbook, and over the years it raised hundreds of thousands of dollars that all went to charity. After a while, I felt that the women evolved, and really, although they didn't lose their traditions, they were more educated. So I'm talking about 25 years later. So I gave the rights of the book to the community, and I decided to move on and create something that really reflected the history, the culture, the sanctity of the Aleppian community from Syria. Their use of spices are way more liberal than the rest of the Middle East. Not to the point where it takes away from the dish, but they will use more Aleppo pepper. The allspice, Baharat Hilul, the sweet allspice, is used totally just allspice. They're allspice balls, and I grind them personally in a coffee grinder, and it's all pure allspice. The rest of the Middle East would use pomegranate concentrate to cook the dishes that were influenced from the Persian culture, which was the dried fruit with sour, so it was the sweet and sour dishes. We do safrajal, the dried quince, the dried prunes, mix it with lemon juice, and then a little tamarind. So the tamarind is the key ingredient in Aleppian cooking. The rest of the Middle East does not use tamarind.
Why is that? Is that something to do with trade routes with India? Or?
Yeah, the tamarind came between the 8th and 9th century from India via Persia. And although the Persians used tamarind during that time, the Aleppo, the Halabi community took it over.
Can you really separate food from place? In other words, wouldn't the recipes, if they were made in Aleppo, have a different taste from if they were made in Brooklyn or New Jersey?
Yes. The lamb has to taste different because the lamb was grass-fed. It was a better quality. You know, the basmati rice was brought in from India. Yes, but basically it's the same. I don't think, we have, luckily, within our circles, all the ingredients are available. Everything is brought in, the apricots, the tamarind, the pistachios. So no, it's not different. It's exactly the same.
To support Poopa on that one, my cousin here and I are from the Manchester Syrian community, but we're actually both born in Egypt, but are Syrian through our respective grandparents. Yeah, and it's absolutely true. When my parents came from Egypt, they went, and yours as well, and they made enormous efforts to go to especially shops, which the normal population wouldn't know about, to get imports from these places, so to get the product. So actually, I think it's true that the things taste authentic. So obviously, your oil might not be exactly the same, but you could buy these products that had been imported. And indeed, you still can today, you just can do it more readily, and you can probably find it in Tesco's. But in those days, you had to go to an Armenian grocer or whatever to get them.
Is there a restaurant? Absolutely not. But within the families, you would be eating this very, very 99% Halabi food. Many times I'm asked, is there a restaurant I could go to, Poopa, to have this authentic cuisine? And my answer is no. That's why the recipes are so important. Because you can prepare them, but there isn't a public restaurant that you could go to and have it. I'm writing another book. Did you want to ask me about that?
Well, I would love to ask you. That was beautifully done. No one saw the link there. Brilliant.
No.
Tell us about no. So tell us. No. That's exactly what I was going to ask. So what's the next plan?
More recipes. As I was doing research, I realized that there were many recipes that were authentically Halabi that our ancestors did not bring out of Aleppo. And I'm not reinventing any recipes. I think you got the message, we only want authentic. And I've discovered hundreds of recipes. Pickled raisins and garlic, old recipe, it has an Arabic name, stuffed fresh apricots with lamb, also vegetarian. And I'm threading Maimonides into it. He has a whole book. One of his sections is about when to eat, when not to eat, how to chew. All of a sudden everybody's telling you, you need to chew your food. We heard about it 500 years ago. Chewing food, when to walk, how to digest. Now the cookbooks of the Ottoman times, these cookery books of the 1400s and on, they didn't call them cookbooks because they gave you medicinal, they gave you how to conduct your life, how to serve, how to eat, hospitality, the hallmark of the Middle East, how to receive a guest, how not to say no, how to take second helping. So it's more of bringing back the lifestyle, bringing back the way our relationship to food.
So people, when's the new book coming out?
I'm not sure yet. It's very, very close. The problem is I'm never happy.
This really does sound like a Jewish mother's handbook.
I just keep going. I drove them crazy with this.
So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.